And without thinking even, I just filled in the application form. And out of some 2,000 entries, I won.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Boom, it's Rusty. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Public Access Podcast. I don't know if I can still do the boom thing because there's too many people booming now. All these boomers, but I don't care about the other boomers. Fucking whatever, they're boomers. But like, there's a lot of people booming, and now those Costco people started booming. And we're here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. This is the podcast straight out of. We're gonna go with Mount Joy, PA today. That's the spot. Um, thank you everyone for being here. Check me out, rustydiamond.net, popuphealing.net, hypnosisisgreat.com. Whatever. Watch the show. Link people, subscribe, like it, comment. I got a wild comment yesterday on my YouTube channel about one of my videos, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So, yeah, you guys, I'm taking a break here for a bit. I got stuff to do. So, you can find me somewhere. I'm easy to get a hold of. I'll get back to you. But important stuff. So, you guys, it's time for me to bring on my special guest right here and right now. And my special guest right here, right now, you may know as the architect, Esté Cann. That's so gonna get. Oh, there we go. Yeah, look at that. Flipapalooza. That shirt is almost 20 years old. Actually, it's from 2005, so it's 20 years old almost, like in June or July. There's probably like 3 of these left in the world. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you, everyone. What is one thing that you believed as a kid that looking back at it now is so hilariously wrong, it makes you wonder who let you think that?
Oh my gosh. That's a good question.
Thank you.
There are many things, but I think maybe the biggest one is like I would describe it like something is wrong here.
Yeah.
Something's wrong over here where I am, something's wrong here. And then that goes into like there is different flavors of it for each person. But for me personally, the particular flavor of it is I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. I'm not enough.
And what got you to find that part, and how did you end up changing that?
Oh.
Is it too much?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm happy to share about anything. What got me to find that? Well, it's a series of things, and there is layers of it. And I think the first ever personal development seminar that I participated in was when I was 17. No, sorry, no, 27.
Okay.
10 years here or there, doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, it was 10 years. Who knows what 10 years is even anymore?
Yeah. So it was 27. But then I can vaguely remember, but I also am very clear now that I don't remember a lot of it. Like, because I was so not present. I was unable to be present and be in my body at that time. So there's a lot that I don't remember of the seminar itself. And I know I had an experience of a greater level level of self-acceptance, but I don't think I got down to the bottom of it. So then the next personal development thingy I did was when I was, I think 29. Yeah, I think I was 29, and no, hang on. The first I did was when I was 23, and the next one I did was when I was 29. That's it. And when I was in this second one, when I was 29, that's when there was this really, really profoundly good teaching method or questioning method whereby they got you to extract the stories that you made up about yourself. And they were like, there are these 3 major stages of our like growing up and individuation process, and there's 3 major big traumas that happen. And the first one is I think between the ages of 0 to 3, and the next one is between the ages of 0 to 5 or 6, and then the next one is 6 to 12, I think, and then the next one is like 12 to 17 or 18, something like that. And there's the 3 major big ones where they taught this to us, that when these 3 major things happen and you made these decisions about yourself, and then you started living your life through that lens. So you took it on you made that decision about yourself, and then you took it on like a pair of glasses, and then you started looking through those lenses at life and yourself and relationships and the world and all of that. And so that's where I first found out that basically what happened is that my dad left when I was 3 years old, and that made me decide about myself completely unconsciously. So this was not conscious at all. So it's like a bit of a detective work of, okay, well, this happened, what must I have decided, and then this is what my life is like, and these are the things that show up throughout my life. In every area of my life I recognize a pattern, and so what must I believe for this to show up in my life? Like if this shows up for me, if this is my life experience all the time, if this is the type of relationships I end up in over and over and over again, what must I believe for this to show up? And so that's how I eventually realized, maybe not in that first instance, but eventually realized that the fact that my dad left when I was 3 years old taught me these things, that I'm unlovable, I am unworthy, and what's the other one? Unlovable, unworthy. Okay, it's hard to even think about it now because I've done so much work on it, and not enough. That's it. Yeah, because like as a child, obviously, it's like something bad happens, then the unconscious mind makes up this story that it happened because of me. And then why because of me? And then we get all these different flavors of why because of me. That's the something wrong here. So with the unconscious then makes up what's wrong here. And
you said you were 29 when you realized this?
yes.
What was 30 like? How was 30 after you figured out that part? Was it then going back, and was it automatically start working through those, or was there a bit of I know this is going to be good for me, but I don't want to do this right now, I'm not ready?
No, it's not that. I really wanted it to change. But intellectually understanding this, it didn't help me. So there was many years. I mean, some of it is still present. Some of it is still present in my life. And literally, I've actually just been through like a very deep layer of it just in November, like in November, December. something happened in my life, in a relationship, and that pushed that button. That whatever happened, I'm not going to go into it because
You
it's
don't
not
need to.
really important, but whatever happened that pushed that button of the core wound, of that core trauma. And so it's like really funny that I have worked on that core trauma for more than 10 years, and yet it still showed up in that way. That is just something happened, and that core trauma got the button of it got pushed by like an outer circumstance. And so I found that, oh shit, it's still here, even though I've worked on it for more than 10 years, and I've done not only that personal development course, I've done somatic experiencing, trauma healing, I've done ayahuasca, that was all about that. I've done therapy, I've just, you name it, I did it. And yet it still showed up. And you know, I don't know if it's ever gonna like go away. I honestly I don't know if but the thing is that just because of knowing this, the quality of my life has been so much better. But it's just like these layers and layers of it. And right now I'm at a place where I think that maybe now I did manage to fully meet that wrong belief and all the feeling that comes with it. So to return to where I started, this blurb is that just intellectually understanding it didn't help me. I had to like deal with all the other layers of it, because as a human being, I'm not just an intellectual being. I have a body, I have an emotional body, I have a spiritual body. We have all these finer bodies, and so intellectually understanding is not enough. It also needed to be tremendous emotional work and body work, and somatically experiencing, somatically going after it. Okay, where is this in my body? But then even beyond that, there was this, I feel like maybe now this was the last bit where I really met that the pain and the wound and the beliefs about it, and this whole storyline, like where I finally managed to not resist the pain, which means that because of these core wounds and these beliefs that are built on top of the core wound. So there's the core wound and there's pain with it, and then there's a story about it, and the story is meant to keep us away from the pain. It's the story that meant to keep us away. So the moment that we are willing to give up the whole storyline, and that takes a lot, because this storyline of the self, we have been practicing that all our lives. So it takes really a lot. Like it's an ego death, to me anyway. To me, it took an ego death to give up that storyline, because it was so core, because it was the core wound. It was like that biggest thing that like my ego and my personality is all wound up around, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what it took is to just give up, like unwind the ego, unwind the story, and give up the ego and give up the story, and just meet the feeling, itself, raw as it is. And underneath it was self.
Yeah. And so then do you ever think about having people like, because then there's the whole like, if you're avoiding it versus like if it comes up, like if you avoid it, it's going to probably come up stronger, and you'll
100%.
get you'll get the picture of what's going on a little bit more clear. And I mean, so like when something will activate that, is it usually like something out of your control, or is it ever, I mean, like, is it ever someone that that knows that about you, that uses that to their advantage, that's fucking
No,
awesome.
never.
That's good. And so it's more just external situations that happen. Like
Yeah,
that's fucking that's
completely
I would say
out of my
better. Like
control.
yeah. And
Why
what
do why are you saying that that's awesome?
well because it's better than someone deliberately doing that to you because they know they'll get a rise out of you and they know that it will, it's a way to yeah, get you upset and that you don't have that part of
No,
it at least too. Like it's
no.
so
I mean,
that's why I was saying it's awesome. I'm not saying like I'm not saying it's awesome, but does that make sense? Or am I just gonna try to
yes,
backpedal here and
yes, no, yeah, I get what you're referring
okay,
to. What you're saying is that basically this is never intentional. I think I honestly
right.
believe that this is never intentional on other people's part.
That's good.
Like other people never intend. I just don't believe that anyone would intentionally hurt another being. Like I think no one wants to hurt anyone. But this
Yeah.
is how hurt happens. It's not it's not other people's fault. It's that I have we have these buttons, these stories, these storylines, these beliefs, this unresolved trauma that something happens on the outside and it pushes that button and then that storyline and that trauma activates and then we have this big reaction.
Yeah. What'd you do with hypnosis?
What do I do with hypnosis?
Yeah, have you gone down the path with hypnosis for this?
Yes, actually,
How'd that
I've
go?
done, I mean, I've done, I think that maybe my life is the way that it is because I've done all that hypnosis. At some point, um, this was near the time of my spiritual awakening. So this was maybe a year prior to my spiritual awakening. I started listening to sleep hypnosis.
Okay.
And I've done that for probably maybe a year. And I started it because a friend of mine was like, hey, I had anxiety and I listened to this guy, sleep hypnosis, whatever way you say
Yeah.
it. And she said,
Yeah.
"Hmm?"
We gotcha. We gotcha. I
and
gotcha.
and and she said, this works. You have to try this. This works. It's amazing. Not because I didn't have anxiety, but I wasn't doing very well at that time. I was just more like sad and kind of aimless. And she said, this works. Try this. She said, I listened to it once and it went away in one listen. I'm like, what? That's mad. So I
Yeah.
so I started listening and yeah, never looked back. And but because it's a YouTube, it's just a free thing on YouTube.
Uh, yeah. There's a lot of them,
Yes,
and anyone can listen to them anytime they
yes,
they want.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there
Go ahead.
wasn't really, so because it's a free thing on YouTube, it's like this
Yeah.
random thing, kind of. Therefore there isn't really like a straightaway feedback.
So
Because they're not discussing it with everyone. It's just like, oh, I feel really a lot better. And then there was then other stuff happened and I didn't notice the effect straight away, but it's just like because I've done so many things, it all rolls into one. But sometimes I do wonder if my life is the way that it is now because I did all that sleep hypnosis for a year.
yeah. Well, so have you done hypnosis for the core uh
The core
memory,
wound.
the core wound?
No,
Because
because it's general. If you listen on YouTube, it's kind of general. Like it would be a thing like remove all negative energy or
oh no, like if I did it, like if
oh,
I hypnotized you, and so like what I do with it, like is like you were talking about, if not me, different comedian, I can not comedian, uh, hypnotist. I can give you one as soon as we're done, if not me. But like the way that I do it, it's like it's changing the story, like
uh-huh,
you were saying. And so like as fucking weird as it sounds, but it makes more sense in hypnosis, is like you are like watching it on a screen, like at a movie theater or a, a drive-in or something. And then you watch it one time all the way through, and then uh that's the hardest part. And then after that, and then like, again, this sounds stupid, but it makes sense in hypnosis. Like, start adding weird stuff to it, start playing it faster, start adding goofy voices, goofy fucking noises in it, until like everything kind of gets really like the least impactful version of that story, and then get it down, take the picture down to a size of a postage stamp, down to nothing, and then gone. And you're able to work through a lot in I'd say an hour and a half of being able to do that. So is that
I
something you've done?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
You
I
have done?
Yes, I was just gonna say, oh my gosh, like I've done this exact, I am doing this exact thing, in my membership for and with my one-to-one clients, and but I just don't call it hypnosis, but I do
Y
this exact thing.
Guided meditation, what do you
Yes,
wanna call it?
yes,
You can,
yes,
yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
call it.
That's what you have, like, yeah, hypnosis has a weird connotation, and, like, even for, a lot of stuff. And so I don't know, like, I've told people I'm a, guided meditation person as opposed to a hypnotist, because sometimes hypnotist scares people off right away with not knowing what it is. And then you get the am I going to cluck like a chicken kind of a thing, or whatever people think. But like, being able to do what you're doing, and like, so you guys, if not me, like, Estee, like, I mean, how, so did you have that, uh you have someone do that for you, and then you um, then decided this is amazing and works great. Like, I want to do this. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
something
it's,
like that. It's a bit different story, but something like that.
yeah. And I mean, like, what you can do, like, I don't know, for a while, that was my free one. And just because, like, I know how well this one works, and like what it can do in however long years it's been, maybe an hour, hour and a half, I'd assume. And just being able to have that change that fast, and be able to, like you're saying, change the story. And yeah, I mean, like, if you had any, I mean, you can't really tell the stories. I assume there's been a lot of people who, I mean, immediately have their lives fully changed just from right then. And then you can work on other stuff, unfold more and more layers after that. But that first one, and I don't know, I have people that or clients that will want something else, a hypnosis for something else, but then usually it boils down to, like, nothing's going to really work too well until you get that core wound addressed. And I don't know, it's like you kind of need that as a baseline, then you can start going through stuff. But until that's worked on, there's not really a lot to do. Is that kind of what you're thinking, or do you have a different approach with that?
Well, the thing about core wounds, in my experience, is that the thing is that yes, I agree with what you're saying, but or and healing can't be pushed, forced, hurried. Like
Yep.
I can see that, like, for example, I had a one-to-one client who signed up for 1 year
Cool.
coaching, spiritual coaching, spiritual growth, and also manifestation is also what my jam is. So she signed up for all of that for a year, and even though at the beginning of the year that we did together, I already saw, okay, this is the core wound that we need to work on, but she wasn't ready. Like
Okay. Yeah.
I couldn't get there. I just
Yep.
couldn't get there with her. It's like there was like other stuff that like I had to address with her that
Right.
kind of that changed things in her consciousness by the time her consciousness really opened to actually be brave enough to
Yep.
really look at that and work with that and have all of her consciousness be on board with that, because that's another thing, that we have all these part-time personalities, which everyone has them, completely normal. You know, there's the 18-year-old you, and there's the angry you, and there is the one that drives the car, and there's the one that likes to not be in the party, and the one that likes to be in the party, and you know, all these different part-time
Yeah.
personalities. And with this particular client that I'm thinking of just now, we had to just get on board some of those part-time personalities that really just didn't, you know, there was so much resistance, like there was so much pushing away of actually meeting, because you are meeting with me, we meet the pain. It's not only this intellectual work, we have to meet the pain. And even just myself, from my own experience, I don't think I was ready. I don't think I was ready until now. And I tried to force myself and push myself, and I've done all this healing work, and I've done all these different modalities, but
Yeah.
there came this point where all of me, my entire consciousness was ready to, okay, let's face this, let's not resist it. And how fast this point comes, I think it's different for each person.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't put a timeline on healing, especially, yeah, like, because she could well do another year or two with you, or more, or the rest of her life. And
Yeah.
there's always more, there's always places to get better. And, you know, yeah, you can also do whatever you want to within reason, whatever age you get to. Um, I don't know, like,
I you know, I used to think that, but, and I guess in a way that is true, but I wouldn't word it like that anymore, in
how would you word it?
light of what happened to me recently. um because the problem with this word healing is that, I don't know if it's just in my mind, or is it in everybody's mind, but like my experience is that overwhelmingly most people think about healing like you get to work on yourself and you heal this thing in order for this thing to go away, to fix it, to make it go away.
It doesn't go away. It's just a different
No.
way to fix it, or to
Yeah.
like deal with it when it comes
Yeah.
up. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always
So
going to be there, and like, that's a strong part of it, is being there. Like, but it also is a strong point of how you what you do when it comes at you, and how you handle it, and what
yes,
you yeah, what you
definitely.
do when you get there. Like, as opposed, like, there's a big long list of things you can go and do, from ideally the best to, not the best way to handle the situation, and fall anywhere along there. And hopefully every time it's getting easier and not harder that it comes up.
Yeah, and that's how it's been for me, I guess, for most of my life. But I don't know, I'm just at a stage now where I see that as long as we stay on the level of personality, like healing the personality, yes, there is always more to do, but there is something that we can do where healing the personality just doesn't, it's not really necessary anymore, and it doesn't make sense anymore. And that is like really arriving to and meeting fully the truth of what we are, which is beyond the personality. So then if we meet fully the truth of what we are and we endeavor to live from that place in our everyday life, then healing isn't quite necessary anymore, because we are not living from our personality anymore, our personal identity, our also so-called ego, personality, identity. We are not living from there anymore. So then healing is not quite as necessary, or maybe perhaps not, just not the same. And like you said, if we do this, then what happens is we still will have all these feelings, because we are still human beings and we still get triggered and have these feelings. But like you said, what do you do with it then? Like, and
Yeah.
and to me, what you do with it is just simply meet everything that arises, like everything that arises in every now moment, fully meet it without resistance. And if we are able to just, if I'm able to acquire the presence or the emotional mastery to, when I am triggered in some way, just to stop and just be like, what is here? Just what is here, including everything outside, inside, what is here. And if I'm just like, okay, what is here? Then I will suddenly go through the, whatever is the trigger and whatever is the feeling, I will go through the feeling like straight away and collapse back into presence, into the truth of me. So
Yeah.
at that point, healing is not really the same or not really necessary.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great place to get to just be able to stop and take in that feeling and feel that feeling. And okay, this is normally this would do this. And, you have it's not that much of the urgency that happens when it happens. It takes away some of that. And with so many wounds of sort, there's a lot of being put into the fight or flight mode. And in that time, you make less rational decisions, and you also have a very hard time taking in any new information. And so it can become, and yeah, I mean, especially become like very repetitive. And then, yeah, stuff will kind of build up and might go away for a little bit, but yeah, it's probably going to come on back to see how you've been working on it. And yeah, I mean, hopefully people have. And I mean, I've definitely had some where I've just like didn't take care of them, didn't, like, nope, I'm just not going to worry about that. And then, yeah, then it comes back again. And then sometime you got to go, okay, well, this is what is happening. Like, I've now noticed I've been doing this wrong. And like, this is something that I need to see what's coming. I've done this before and I know what it is. I'm okay with it and go forward with it. And like, that one's taken a long time. That one I feel like just happened. Um, yeah, and that was an interesting one. But sometimes you get there, and sometimes you get to that spot, and you can do that. And I don't know, if you get there, it's nice. I don't know what next time will be like. I thought about that a little bit. I mean, what would next time be like? Would next time just be like, does it go back up after you get to a good spot with it, or does it stay around the same? Or what do you think about that?
Well, to me, the only way to acquire that type of presence and emotional mastery is, well, in the past, I would meditate a lot. And through meditation, I was able to develop like an ability to stay in the eye of any storm. So like no matter what was happening around me, because I practiced meditation so much, no matter what was happening around me, I could still stay centered. But now there is like this other level, which is, I think, so to me, okay, I'm just speaking for myself. I feel that for me, the ultimate way to be this way, to have that presence and emotional mastery, to when the trigger is happening, just be like, just stop, and what is here, and meet the feeling fully, and then it just dissolves and you collapse back into the truth of you. So the ultimate way for me to be that way is it's really it's not easy to put words on this.
Okay.
But I do want to try, is to firstly just so what's required, okay, so this going way back, so what's required to attain this way of being, in my experience, is a very strong primal desire for experiencing ultimate pure freedom and love and peace. And when we have this, and maybe knowing truth, like a real raw desire to know truth, and when that desire is really strong, then you go after it and find out, how can I attain that? How can I have true peace and freedom and all of those things, and love and truth? How can I attain that? And when someone starts to search for how can I attain that, then eventually you will find that the only way to attain those ultimate things, true peace and true freedom and truth itself and bliss and happiness, is through the self, is through opening to an inquiry that is called, where does I arise from? Where does I arise from? And just when you ask yourself this question, where does I arise from? And you just sit really quietly, you think this question or sound this question to yourself, then you just sit really quietly, and then it's being shown to you, like it's being shown to you, where does I arise from? And then if you can stay a little bit more quiet for longer, and you can go really to the bottom of it, then you will meet the emptiness and the fullness that you are, the vastness, the stillness. And you will then realize this is love, this is peace, this is freedom, absolute freedom. And to me, then, okay, so you this happens in a moment, okay, this happens in a moment. This doesn't take long at all, happens in a moment. And then you go into life, you go into your life, and the same things happen, and you meet the same things. But this state will never leave you. This state will never leave you. You can leave this state still after that. You can leave this state. You can be pulled out of this state, but it's just old habits, because you are getting pulled back to the storyline that you always thought you were. It's just a habit. These storylines, the storyline of I, the story of I, the personality, you practice this for your entire life. So it's a habit. It's an addiction, actually. It is really an addiction. There is a chemical cocktail in your body that corresponds with this storyline of I. So it's an addiction. It's very hard to stop. But because it's an old habit, it's just a habit. So you can always just be mindful. I don't know how to explain this. When you are committed to this, when you are committed really to this, then what happens is you will go out in your life and you will be pulled out of this state of just being that which is, but somehow this state will stay with you and kind of always kind of call you back, because you know it was so amazing, but you don't want to remember it, because if you remember it, then you are still in the mind. However, you can still contemplate this state even in your life. And when you do, when you're so committed that you're contemplating this being, eventually, the I, the personality, will start to become smaller and smaller. This is at least my personal experience. It starts to become smaller and smaller and smaller until you feel like this personality I is just kind of like a small wave on the ocean of being.
Yeah. And okay, so then what happens if you refuse it, as opposed to what happens if you accept it and go all in with it, and everything that that feeling is going for that, as opposed to taking it and noticing it and going like, no, I'm good right now.
Nothing happens. You will stay in samsara. You will stay in that, in suffering, really. But it's okay. It's, you know, it's not worse than, you know, the way that you lived your life until now, the way that every human being lives their lives. This is a choice. So nothing happens.
What if you go in on it and you follow that feeling of
So what do
that?
you mean? What do you mean by when you say you go in on it fully? What do you mean
Sure.
by this?
So the feeling you were talking about, that ultimate feeling you were talking about, uh like if you feel that, like if you come across it in your life somewhere and all of a sudden it's there and you've noticed it before but haven't done anything about it, and then it shows up again, and you know this, and like you like, oh, okay, here this is again, and you go into it, then like, I don't know, like yeah, kind of change the life, change the life because like this shows up. Like, is that making sense, or am I just
Kind
you
of,
can
but
you can
what
go
I
ahead.
wanna ask you is, when you say going fully in it, like, do you mean momentarily in that one moment, or do you mean to start living your entire life from that?
Living the entire life from that.
Mhm. Well, what happens is, like I said, life will still happen. That life will, it will still happen. You will still have feelings. You are still a human being. You will not walk around happy 100% of the time. But what happens is, it's like, in a way, the life you have lived until that point is over. And you start a new life then. And in this new life, well, basically, what happens is what I said. If you are triggered, you will have that presence to say, what is happening here? or more like what is here, and just meet everything, meet all the feelings, meet life directly, meet feelings directly, meet other people directly. People will feel a certain way around you. I cannot tell exactly how. It depends on levels of energy, but there will be something that you will be providing people just by you being, just by them coming in contact with you. And one of the things that you will start to give people is that you will fully meet them. You will start to fully meet directly, fully see people. And in this world, a lot of people are not seen, and they don't even know what it is to be fully seen. But you will start fully seeing and fully meeting people. And in this way of living, you will stop resisting your own pain, and therefore you will stop resisting other people's pain, which this is what I mean when I say you will see people, you will meet people directly, fully. You will have true compassion. And I think perhaps also you will be in surrender, and it's like the great flow will operate through you, and it will take you where you need to be, and you will ride this wave of the great flow, and it will just take you where you need to be. And some miracles as well, probably. Oh gosh, what's happening? So dark. I don't know what to do. There you go.
You're good. I want one more question for you here. What's your favorite thing you've manifested? We were talking about manifestation earlier. What's your favorite thing you manifested, and how did you do it?
Oh, okay. There are so many favorite things.
Well, whichever one. You can do a few if you want.
Okay, so I think let's say I'm thinking about top two at the moment, top two.
Cool. I'm
And
good with that.
and the one of them is I manifested so much travel. Like when I arrived into surrender the first time around, my wildest dreams started coming true, like one after the other, and these were all connected to travel. And before my surrender, I used to think that I needed to attain these specific outer circumstances for me to manifest what I actually want, the experiences that I longed for. Like, for example, that I need a good job and a lot of money to travel. But then if I have a good job and a lot of money, then maybe I don't have time to travel. So, you know, like all these, like trying to figure it out from my head, trying to like piece it together. But when I surrendered, travel just happened. Like I kept meeting people who were like, oh, I'm going here. Do you want to go with me? And it was all possible on very little budgets, like working together with other people, creating the budgets that I could never have created by myself. Like okay, so this is a bit like, nah, but I can't even drive a car. I don't drive. I don't drive.
Okay.
Yet I traveled, like I spent so much time in cars of different people over the last 4 years, really. It's incredible. It's amazing. And this is this is international travel. This is Europe and Africa. So far, just Europe and Africa.
Okay.
But yeah, so
That's awesome.
and it was just like I found myself in these circumstances suddenly, and I was like, oh yeah, I wanted that, but I just didn't it's like the dreams I didn't dare to dream because I thought I had to fulfill the circumstances to have that.
Right.
So
But
that's one of my favorites.
cool. What's the
And
other?
yeah, the other one is this happened in 2023. I was in a full-time. I was in a full-time job. I didn't want to be in a full-time job, but at that time I had to be in a full-time job. I was in a full-time job for like 3 months, and during those 3 months, I realized I really don't want to do this, and I and
Good
I
to know.
and I told myself I want to jump into my highest timeline, my ideal timeline, and when I decided this, I also then somehow got clear that I want to write a book about how to manifest miracles. And so I started writing this book. And then about 1.5 months later, there was a competition to win a $20,000 1-year coaching and business certification course.
Whoa.
And like, and even that came to me in a very auspicious series of synchronicity, because like in this 1.5 months between when I decided to jump timelines, started writing my book, and then a friend just sent me a WhatsApp message, like out of the blue, kind of saying, hey, I think you'd like this. And I'm like, okay, click the link. And there was this really awesome personal development, yet another personal development thingy, but it was different than anything I've ever seen before. It included a type of hypnosis, but it's not really hypnosis, but it included a type of, it's a rapid recode
Okay.
modality. So it included the rapid recode modality. And anyway, whatever they were saying, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is like, I've been waiting for this my entire life. This is amazing. How can I have more of this? And like a week later, this competition was announced that you can win this 1-year coaching certification program, which is also a business program with this company. And without thinking even, I just filled in the application form. And out of some 2,000 entries, I won.
Whoa. Okay. And
I've never won anything before. And it was just so incredibly auspicious. Like, I just decided to jump timelines, and then this happened. And I started writing my book about miracles. And then I started thinking, oh, well, if I'm writing this book, then I might as well start an online course from this book, because now the skeleton of the online course is right here because I'm writing this book. So, and then I won this coaching certification, which includes the rapid recode modality. And then I started my coaching business, and I moved house, and I've moved into like my dream property. Well, dream for now, dream for now property.
dream for now is cool. And
So
yeah.
it's just been a wild ride.
Yeah. And I mean, like everything. So I was talking with some people about this. So like to jump to the ideal timeline, like it can start with one thing. Like I was saying, for instance, like you never liked brushing your teeth with a certain toothpaste, but you've been doing it for a long time. But like you really like this other toothpaste, and you like in your core, I don't know if core is a good word for that, but like you really want this other toothpaste, and you start using that toothpaste, and then that starts a whole chain reaction of everything else, and then you start doing what you truly want, and then you're able to do all kinds of stuff, and you start aligning more and attracting people, and the more the more you love yourself, the more that's going to attract more people, and attract different people, and uh, all about attraction and manifestation. And so if people are ready to attract and manifest and get feeling fucking great, how are they going to work with you or find you to get your information?
Well, thank you for asking.
Yes.
So
You're-
you can follow me on Facebook. Facebook is my main thing at the moment, my main where I am
yeah,
most of the time at the moment, and that's if you can find Esté Cann, and hopefully the link will be underneath this video somewhere or
Yep.
around
pretty
somewhere.
close to the top.
Okay, yes, that there.
Yeah, that's where it's gonna be.
And I'm on Instagram, and it's Facebook and Instagram both the same. Well, Instagram is Esté Cann, Estecann, and on Facebook Esté Cann, like just as my name,
Easy.
separate words. Then there is my website, and there is actually a free manifestation ebook on my website if somebody would like to
And
check that out.
yeah,
That's estecann.com, and that will be also around here somewhere.
yeah.
And on YouTube. And please connect with me on YouTube, because I'm just gonna start going more on there. So I've not posted for a while, but this is the plan for 2025 to be way more on YouTube. So
But now you will, and you can also take any clip from this and you can put it up on YouTube if you want. And so there's more content creator. So thank you so much for being on. I'm happy we got to talk and have a good conversation. And yeah, I hope you have a rest of your day. I hope you have a rest of your day. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and that you're living your highest self. Stay in that spot and just live it and enjoy it and ride the
thank
wave.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rusty. Thank you so much. This has been such an honor and
Oh,
such a pleasure to have this conversation with you. So thank you so much.
thank you. And
Have a lovely day.
You too. All right, bye.
You will sleep better than you have ever slept. You've never been this relaxed. Are you ready to change your life?
I'm Rusty Diamond, certified hypnotist. You don't need to leave your house. You can stay in your bed. You can stay in your favorite chair. You just need a computer or your phone. You can get a hold of me. Stay at home. I'll make your life better.
Hypnosisisgreat.com.
All right, that is Esté Cann. So Esté Cann, thank you very much. You guys, fuck yeah. Like, enjoy this. Check her out. Check me out, rustydiamond.net, hypnosisisgreat.com, popuphealing.net. Do it all. Just fucking feel good. And it's okay to feel good. It feels fucking great. So enjoy the hell out of that. Go get a fucking float out here near Philly at the East Coast Float Spa, either in Princeton, New Jersey or Westchester, PA. Get the Rusty Diamond special. Tell them Rusty Diamond sent you, and you get a hypnosis while you float. That sounds pretty cool, right? So thank you everyone so much for being here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. I think I'm taking a break for a little Brit. It's not a little Brit, but it's some yeah, I'm taking a little break. So I'll probably be back sometime in February, but I have important stuff I need to do. So yeah. I was going to say I have to return some videotapes, but I'm not going to go that route. So, like, I have important stuff to do, but I'll come back. You guys can message me if you want or call me. I don't know. I have my phone number up there. You guys can call me and I'll probably get back to you at some point. But yeah, I got stuff to do and it fucking rules. So, thank you everyone, and that is the show. Man, boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.